The first time anyone saw the wild German shepherd named Rocco, he was standing in the corner of the police training yard, teeth bared, eyes filled with a storm that no one knew how to calm. Officers whispered that he was untrainable, a dog too broken by his past to ever be trusted. He had scars across his shoulder and a deep notch in his ear, reminders of the violent world he had lived in before the police rescued him during a raid. 3 trainers had already given up, 1 had been injured, and the department was considering putting him down because he simply couldn't adjust. But the day he lunged at his 4th trainer, dragging him to the ground like a rag doll, everyone realized Rocco was not just aggressive, he was terrified, and nothing they tried reached him. But everything changed the moment a 7-year-old girl named Lily stepped into the training yard, and the wild dog that had attacked grown men suddenly froze as if struck by lightning. If you're watching this and believe every creature deserves a second chance and every act of kindness matters, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts around the world. Rocco came from a drug house where he had been chained in the dark for most of his life, used only for intimidation. He had never been loved by a human, and never learned what kindness felt like. The police found him starving, bruised, and half dead during the raid, yet even while injured he had defended a group of children trapped in a back room. That was the only reason they rescued him, instead of putting him down on the spot. Everyone saw the footage of the half-wild dog shielding those children, snarling at the criminals who tried to break in, taking the blow meant for a little boy. His heart wasn't bad, but it was wounded so deeply that no one could reach it. Every time someone approached him, he saw danger. Every hand looked like a threat. Every voice reminded him of fear. The officers tried food, soft voices, months of patience. Nothing worked. Rocco only grew more defensive, more unpredictable. His fate was sealed. The police vet signed the recommendation, too unstable, too dangerous. Euthanasia suggested. They scheduled it for the following week. But fate arrived early, wrapped in a tiny pink jacket. Lily came to the police station with her mother, who was an officer. She was a quiet girl who had survived a terrible car accident that left her shy, withdrawn, and nervous around loud noises. She rarely spoke, hardly smiled, and had been struggling for months. The therapist said she needed something gentle to break her silence, something that made her feel safe again. No one expected that something to be the most dangerous dog in the department. While her mother filled out paperwork, Lily wandered behind the kennels. She stopped when she saw Rocco crouched in the far corner of his cage, growling low, ready to attack anyone who came near. But Lily didn't step back. She didn't scream. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she slowly crouched, pressing her small hand against the bars. Something inside Rocco shifted. The growl stopped. His ears twitched, his breathing slowed. For the first time since arriving at the station, the wild dog lowered his head, inching forward as if pulled by an invisible thread. He sniffed Lily's fingers, trembling. Everyone in the room froze. Then, to their absolute shock, Rocco gently placed his head against her tiny hand. The girl who hadn't spoken in months whispered her first word since the accident, "Hi." That moment changed everything. Officers rushed forward, afraid Rocco would snap, but Lily held up her hand and simply said, "He's scared. Not bad." No one could explain it. The most aggressive dog had just submitted to a child who barely weighed 40 pounds. Something in Lily had reached the wounded part of Rocco, the part that still remembered how to protect children. The police chief canceled the euthanasia order on the spot. He assigned a special program. Lily could meet Rocco every afternoon under strict supervision. Rocco's transformation shocked everyone. The dog who attacked officers now sat calmly when Lily approached. The dog who shredded training dummies would gently drop his toys at her feet. The dog who snarled at every sound would relax the moment he heard Lily's voice. She brought him drawings, he brought her sticks. She told him stories, he pressed his head into her chest. Officers stared through the glass, wondering how such a small girl tamed a creature no adult could control. Lily's mother said it best, she understands fear. Maybe that's why he trusts her. As weeks passed, the bond deepened. Lily started smiling again. Rocco started wagging his tail for the first time ever. Her trauma softened, his rage quieted. They healed each other without even knowing how. Trainers observed Lily's interactions and slowly started mirroring her calm, gentle approach. Rocco began obeying commands. He learned to walk on a leash without pulling. He learned to sit, stay, and even let officers pet him. The department called it a miracle child therapy effect, but Lily just said, "He only needs someone who sees his heart." Everyone believed Rocco was finally ready to be a police dog again. But fate had one more test. One morning, while Lily and her mother were getting out of the car near the station, a man hiding between parked vehicles rushed forward with a knife. He wasn't targeting Lily, he was targeting her mother, who had arrested him months before. Lily screamed for the first time in months, but before the knife could touch her mother, a streak of black and tan fur shot out from behind the corner. Rocco had broken through his temporarily unlocked kennel. He launched at the attacker with a force that shook the ground. He clamped down on the man's arm, pulling him away from the officer. The knife skidded across the pavement. Officers swarmed in, arresting the attacker. But Rocco didn't stop there. After ensuring Lily and her mother were safe, he limped backward and collapsed. He had been stabbed in the side. Lily dropped to her knees, crying as she wrapped her arms around the trembling dog. Blood covered her hands. Officers called for emergency help. Rocco's breathing was uneven, his eyes unfocused. But when he heard Lily whisper, "Don't leave me," he lifted his head and licked her cheek. The entire police station stood in silence as paramedics rushed him away. Lily refused to leave his side, riding with him all the way to the animal hospital. Rocco fought for his life for hours. The vet said the knife had narrowly missed his lung. Lily didn't eat, didn't sleep. She sat by his kennel, praying harder than she had ever prayed. When Rocco finally opened his eyes, weak but alive, Lily smiled wider than anyone had ever seen. Rocco had protected her just as he once protected the children in the raid. The police department officially adopted him as a K9 therapy protection hybrid dog. His badge number was sewn into a brand new vest. At the ceremony, Lily placed the vest on him herself. Rocco stood proudly, tail wagging, chest lifted, as if thanking her for saving his life more than once. Near the end of the story, I want to remind you, if this journey touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps powerful stories like this alive. Rocco went on to become the most beloved dog in the entire department. He visited schools, calmed frightened kids, and sat with victims during interviews. But he always saved his softest moments for Lily. She became talkative, confident, and joyful again. The girl who once trembled at every loud sound now walked proudly beside the dog the world once feared. They were two broken souls who found strength in each other. Two hearts that learned healing comes from unexpected places. Two survivors who turned pain into courage. And they stayed inseparable for years. Before the story ends, please comment below. Healing hearts find each other. Thank you for watching.